Once upon a time, near the village of Vedanta, there was a lush green forest, and within it lay a peaceful village. In this village lived a young boy named Arav. He was hardworking and honest, but one habit always kept him unhappy. He constantly compared himself to others. Whenever he saw his friend Vivan, who was always the top student, he thought, "I wish I were as smart as him." When he saw his neighbor Rowan, who was very wealthy, he thought, "I wish I had as much wealth as him." Even when he saw someone running fast, he would sigh, "I wish I could run that fast." Slowly, Arav's life started sinking into disappointment. He couldn't focus on his studies, and his interest in work began to fade. He felt like he could never be as successful as those he constantly compared himself to. One day, a wise sage named Kabir arrived in the village. He was known for enlightening people about life's truths. Arav had heard of his wisdom, so he approached him and shared his problem. "Respected Guru, I work very hard, but whenever I see someone better than me, I feel sad. I feel like I can never be like them. Please help me overcome this problem." The sage smiled and said, "Come to the oldest banyan tree in the village tomorrow morning. There, you will find the answer to your question." Arav found this strange but thought there must be a reason behind the sage's words. Early the next morning, as the sun began to rise, Arav reached the ancient banyan tree. The sage was already there, waiting for him. "Look carefully at this forest," the sage said. "What do you see?" Arav looked around and said, "Respected Guru, there are different kinds of trees here. Some are very tall, some are short, some bear plenty of fruit, while others do not." The sage smiled. "Now imagine if this mango tree started comparing itself to the coconut tree and complained that it is not as tall. And what if the coconut tree complained that it doesn't bear sweet fruit like the mango tree? Would that make sense?" Arav shook his head. "No, respected Guru, that would be foolish." The sage asked again, "Then tell me, how does this forest look to you?" Arav looked around and said, "Very beautiful and balanced." The sage smiled. "That is the greatest truth of life. Just as every tree has its unique existence and purpose, every human has their own journey and destiny. The mango tree is meant to give sweet fruits, while the coconut tree is built for height and strength. Their lives are different, yet both are important." Arav nodded but still had some doubts. The sage took him to a nearby pond. Many fish were swimming there, and birds were flying above. The sage pointed at a bird and said, "If this fish started complaining that it cannot fly like the bird, would that be fair?" Arav replied, "Not at all. The fish is made to swim, and the bird is made to fly." The sage smiled. "Then why do you want to be like someone else? Your journey is your own. You also have qualities that others don't." Arav had a moment of realization. He understood that every person has unique strengths and that comparing ourselves to others only harms us. From that day on, he stopped comparing himself to others and started focusing on his own strengths and weaknesses. He realized that when he worked according to his own abilities, he felt true satisfaction. Slowly, his confidence returned, and he began to see life from a new perspective. He worked hard, sharpened his skills, and found his own path to success. Years later, Arav built a successful business and became the most inspiring person in the village. Whenever someone asked him the secret of his success, he would smile and say, "Never compare yourself to others. If a fish tries to fly, it will always fail. But if it hones its swimming skills, it can rule the entire ocean." Comparing yourself to others is like expecting the sun and the moon to shine at the same time. Both have their own place, and both shine in their own time. Focus on your own journey, recognize your strengths, and create your own path to success. From that day on, many villagers followed his wisdom, and the village of Vedanta flourished with confident and self-driven individuals who no longer wasted time in unnecessary comparisons but focused on becoming the best versions of themselves. You see, life is not a competition. It is a journey meant to be lived at our own pace. Everyone has their own strengths, talents, and timeline of success. Instead of looking at what others have, focus on what you can do with what you have. True happiness comes not from being better than someone else, but from being better than who you were yesterday. Your uniqueness is your greatest strength. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it shine.
Stay joyful, stay positive, and keep spreading laughter.